Welcome to Phails. My name is Philip Jones, and today my guest is David Garrison. He is a playful, authentic connector, and he's the Central Texas Mankind Project I-Group Coordinator. Welcome to the show, David. You want to wave at everybody? They're in all these cameras.
All the cameras. Great to be here, Philip.
Yeah, thanks. Today, Phil fails at men's work. And David Garrison is a real skilled and experienced man in this area. You've been a part of different organizations or groups of men designed to bring about men's work and men's groups. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. It's definitely been a big interest of mine, especially like the last 20 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you're a part right now of two different men's groups. Can you name them?
Yes. Excuse me. Yeah, so there's two formal organizations, and then there's a couple of other groups that are informal, right? They're not actually a solid organization, you know. But the two big ones are Mankind Project,
Yep.
which is a worldwide organization, and it's got a presence in, I think it's 27, 28 countries.
Yeah.
So it's like a worldwide thing, and it's been around about 30 years. We can talk more about that. And then there's something called the East Bay Circle of Men, EBCOM, that's out in the East Bay, kind of centered in Oakland, but there are men all over the Bay Area that are a part of it. Including a few men like myself who I live, 1,500 miles from there.
Yeah.
And I've been a part of that for about 8 years.
Okay. And full disclosure, I am a Mankind Project initiated man. Were you at my initiation weekend?
I was not only at your initiation, but I was in a more intimate part of that.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
But I actually remember being there and holding space.
Yeah. Land of my grandfather.
Land of my grandfathers, yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful experience. The Mankind Project New Warrior Training Adventure.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the sort of the entry portal into the Mankind Project.
Yeah.
It's like a 2.5-day immersive experience.
And I'm not a part, how do I say this? I'm not in any formal Mankind Project men's groups now, but I sit with two different groups of Mankind Project men's weekly. One is one other Mankind Project man. He and I have a one-on-one, a dyad. And then another one is two other Mankind Project, and we sit together once a week, both of those. So I'm kind of drawing upon my experience, and I think regularly I've thought about getting to an I group or finding a more formal connection or entry point back into MKP. Mankind Project is abbreviated MKP for a lot of folks. So if David says MKP,
that's right.
He means Mankind Project.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to say, for people listening, let's see. Yeah, I think there is this thing within, when we talk about men's work, one of the fundamental manifestations of that is learning tools that allow us to come together in a circle and support each other.
Yeah.
And those circles, like the tool set is endless. There are some fundamental principles, though, that I've experienced in almost all of these circles. And the size of them can range from a group of 15, 20 men to 2 men sitting in a cafe and creating a space where the vulnerability and the ability to support is present.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing you say is you've created 2 different groups of men for your support. One of them is 2 men and one of them is 3 men.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Some people call them containers.
Yes, that's another, that's a jargon that we use. Yes.
Yeah. And before we get into the questions, we're going to ask Phil Phails 5 questions on men's work. I want to invite in some historic context around our relationship.
Okay.
That you and I we've had adventures together at Pace Bend, where you were, there was kind of an extreme event where you were helicoptered to a hospital to get your neck repaired when we jumped from the highest cliff, and your neck was damaged.
Yes.
And we've sat in circles.
And you were one of my friends who rescued me.
Yeah.
And where I had this profound experience of feeling loved by men so profoundly. It was just so amazing.
Yeah,
So,
we floteled you for probably a half a mile. I think every time I describe it, the miles
it was a long way.
In 5 years, it'll be like, we floteled him for 10 miles. But I think it was probably going to be somewhere between
a third of a mile.
Yeah,
third of a mile.
Let's call it a third of a mile.
Yes.
But
there were waves and sharks everywhere. So.
there weren't actually sharks.
No.
And we've gone camping together, and we've spent time together both in circle in men's groups. The group that met on Monday mornings, which was the group that kind of led me towards my initiation, and then also in informal groups of a community of men that we both love and appreciate. And the ghost is that we've had a lot of tension in our relationship.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of rupture and disconnect and this isn't exactly what it is, but I don't like you either type of vibes.
Yeah. Could I?
Absolutely.
Yeah. One frame that I have using men's jargon here, men's work jargon, is that there's something about us and the history that we bring to the present that there's something there that where we in some ways trigger each other. And it's like for me, it's like there's a part of me that is really open and loving and trusting, and then there's another part that gets a little bit the opposite of that. And a big part of the work is to bring that out into the sunlight to where we can learn from that and continue to grow.
Yeah.
And I just want to name that I know I've been growing a ton, and there's been a number of relationships where there's been fissures and stuff that have been healed, and now I'm closer than I've ever been. And here we are, due to your reaching out and reconnecting and opening up this possibility. And now it's like the part of me that's loving towards you is just feeling really present.
Yeah.
And the part of me that's triggered is feeling a lot safer and sort of like it's so I just want to lay that out, that this is what's happening here is we're creating a little men's circle.
Yeah.
And getting to continue to grow.
Heck yeah. Part of the thing that when I reached out to you, I was looking for help finding another mankind project or another men's work leader.
Yes.
And the person that you suggested, it just didn't work out for some reason. And you said, well, what about me?
No, there were 2 other men.
Yeah. And neither of them worked out.
And neither of them worked out. Yeah.
And you said, well, what about me? I've done all this work. And you listed all the work. And I said, man, you are a perfect person. And I thought, we've had so much challenge and strife. I was worried about it. And then I thought, well, what a beautiful thing to allow to unfold. I mean, why not put whatever this is on display? It could be exciting. If we do get triggered and feel frustration, all these people can watch this intimate, real kind of thing unfold. And not that I plan for it to unfold. It just always has between you and I.
Right.
I mean, yelling at you and leaving circles at the night and just... So in me, there's a vulnerability in saying, okay, if those types of things arise, how will I navigate that now? How will we model for other folks, men, having challenge, because I think in the past I haven't handled it well. And
Wow. Philip, I'm feeling really touched by your vulnerability and sharing this with whoever's going to see this.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really appreciate that, and feeling very happy being here with you.
Yeah. All right. So with all that said, y'all look out for...
They're like, who are these guys? What are they doing?
What are they doing? What are we doing? Yeah. Well, right now we're going to do Phil Phails 5 questions.
All right.
Question 1 is, how would a man fail at men's work?
How would a man fail at men's work? Wow. So the initial response is, I think there's a distinction for me between healthy men's communities and unhealthy. The unhealthy is more of the hierarchical sort of power dynamic, where there's someone at the top who's setting the principles and rules, and basically expecting everyone to follow that. Where there are right and wrong, and where there's success and failure, like where those are very predominant values. And then there's healthy men's communities where it's like whenever you're ready, whatever you're ready for, we have a container where you can come in and do the work that you choose to do. Right?
When I say fail, you can kind of think of learn. What are the pitfalls towards men's work success? Like, what are the... I could think of a couple myself, but I'm wondering what ones come to mind for you.
What are the big challenges?
That'd be a good one.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say the frame of if you have a man who wants to make some changes in their life, things aren't working. Some things aren't working.
Which is probably every man.
It's true, but let's say you're getting to the point of like, I can no longer do this on my own. Okay. To me, that's like a crossroads.
Okay.
For most people, and I'm going to speak about men, where men in our culture, most men, a lot of men are taught to be independent, self-reliant, and figure it out, right?
Yeah. So what do you think?
And not be vulnerable to ask for support.
So men coming into a men's work kind of scenario, what are your things that would be failures or challenges for them?
Yes. So they're looking for change or looking for support. Let's say they go on this weekend, or they go visit a men's support group. Yep. The things that I've seen really get in the way are men carrying a lot of shame around who they are, like not feeling like they are good enough. And so every time there's an opportunity presented to do something new or strive to do something better, the shame steps in and says, you're not worthy. Give up. Go back into your hole. I judge there's a lot of men that are living in that space of not having enough validation as they're growing up. Not enough encouragement, not enough role models. Yeah.
So shame
is a big one. Shame's a real big one. There's let's call it limiting beliefs. So this is cultural programming. It could come from your family, in terms of this is how a man should be. So you must do this on your own. You never show your feelings. You never ask for help. Those are all signs of weakness. Don't be that way, right?
Yeah.
And then you can get into all kinds of things, around men's sexuality. What are their like that. The big thing for me that I look at in terms of men being able to really fully embrace change in their lives, change in themselves, is being able to see who they are authentically and use that as their guidepost to where to go next and what to nourish in themselves, right? And a lot of the cultural programming basically tells you who you are. And if you're not able to set that aside and actually do the work of asking yourself, what do I really want? What is it? What are my gifts? What are my true gifts? What are the ways that I could impact the world uniquely? Asking those kind of questions. And a lot of men, including this one, aren't able to even ask that question. We'll talk more about this later, but it wasn't until I was 40 years old that I could actually ask the question, what do I desire?
Yeah. So it sounds like shame, these like ideas
programming,
of not being good enough or not being worthy, and that limited their participation, limited their ability to kind of step up and contribute or take part in the things that the group was doing. The second is self-limiting beliefs and cultural programming, things that ideas of what they should be or what they need to do, and these impacted the way they showed up in the world. And something around connection to an inner, like,
knowing who I
wisdom
am,
or
knowing
intuition.
who I am. Yes. Yeah. And so there's conscious limiting beliefs, and then there's subconscious beliefs that we have. There are subconscious things we learned as children that often that's what's driving the bus, right? Yeah. And like being able to go in that world of uncovering the wall between our conscious and subconscious, and really seeing these old patterns that we've developed as children to protect ourselves, to relate to people in our lives, and how we've carried those forward into the present. Yeah.
I'm reminded of a quote by Carl Jung. I think he said, I'm going to paraphrase here. He said something like, until the subconscious is made conscious, it will rule our lives and we will call it fate. Something like that.
Yeah, it's a great quote. And MKP, one of the foundational principles is about uncovering our past wounds, our past programming, and using that as not only a stepping stone to growth, but actually access to amazing source of energy that we can use.
Yeah. Second question, how would a man succeed at men's work?
What are the things that really support men? Yeah, so one thing I want to say, this is a journey that is really hard to do on your own. It's really hard to do. I know there are men that can go out in the desert and grow and be a totally different person, but I really do believe that having a support system that can give us feedback, what they're seeing that we can't see, that can provide a safe space for us to go into our feelings and be vulnerable and actually allow ourselves in front of other people to show our vulnerability and still feel accepted. That is such a huge thing for most men, to actually show up weak, show up where we don't know what to do, where we're afraid, where we're blocked, and let all that out, and then have these men just hold us in that, whether it's emotionally or it's with hugs and with just a feeling of safety,
Yeah.
Such a huge, huge thing. So a safe place for us to do our work.
So
That's
success
critical.
is finding a group of people, a group of men.
It can be one other man, as we've talked about, but a way where we can create a safe container, and then some processes where we open ourselves up and feel seen and accepted.
Yeah, there's that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go in a group.
Ooh, I love that.
So what I'm hearing you say about succeeding is finding your group, whether it's one, whether it's 1,000, finding a group of people that can support you in your lengthy journey
Yes.
towards authenticity, vulnerability, this transparency, this way of showing up in the world, warts and all.
Yes.
All your blemishes, and to be held.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
think of like a sangha.
Yes, yes. Yeah, and then there's another thing that comes up for me. When I talk about exposing ourselves, the parts of us that we judge are not strong and good, right? So we all, as we develop as children, as we grow up, there are parts of us that get nourished, encouraged, and we feel good about those parts of ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. And then there are other parts of ourselves that often are discouraged or judged, and we tend to hide those things, not just from other people, but also from ourselves. Yeah? And so that's a part of what I'm talking about, is like having a container where I can actually develop the parts of myself that are undeveloped, that have been lying in shadow, where they've been judged and held back. Here's a safe place for me to show those parts and actually practice new ways of being. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In MKP, there is this framework that we use. It's called the 4 Archetypes.
Yeah.
Do you want me to mention that right now?
Let's talk about that.
Or is that
after
later?
We get to but
Okay.
we can talk about the king, the warrior, the king, magician, warrior, lover.
That's right.
What order are they in?
Lover, warrior, magician, king.
Lover, warrior, magician, king.
That's right.
We'll definitely talk about that.
Yeah. And just to keep it on this issue, so for me, I've always been a lover. Like you can see this in me, right? Like I'm fairly expressive and I have access to my feelings. I've always been this way. Mm-hmm. I'm unusual for most men, right? In that way. And people have tried to shame me around that, but it's always been who I am. Mm. And the other part of me that's been strong is being a warrior. My parents, my culture taught me, when your boss says, go do this, I'll go do it. When my academic professor says, do this and you'll get an A, hell yeah. I can do that. But the king and the magician, totally undeveloped. Mm-hmm. And I started doing a lot of work on that about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third question. What is the impact of this work on men and the communities that they're in? What is the fruit of watering this tree, of the tree of men's work? What's the fruit for a man and for the community that he's in?
Yeah, good question. So let's just say most of this work is around learning tools to create a safe container so we can support each other. That's really the fundamental part of this work. Okay, whether it's 2 men or 20 men or 100 men, creating a safe container where we can show up our authentic selves, warts and all, and feel seen and accepted, and providing a space for us to practice bringing everything out into the world and practice developing all parts of ourselves. So that's the work, right? And so if you take that and you put it out into the world, what are the impacts?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like every context. It's like, I want to be a better father, right? Like instead of being the just showing my warrior, like I'm going to earn money and I'm going to be a provider. That's what a man does. That's what a father does. A lot of men are taught that. This work allows us to develop our emotional intelligence and actually teach our children that it's not only okay, but it's like a must, right? It's a totally safe to share our feelings with each other.
Yeah.
And be there no matter what our feelings are, right? And to develop a new generation that can show up that are not only smart and hardworking, but they're also emotionally intelligent, which is like this superpower for people in the world to connect, build teams, support each other, right?
Yeah.
So that shows up like as a father, as a parent, as a partner. You bring all these other skills that you're developing into those relationships. You show up in work as a much more integrated person who can be a leader, like bring their king into spaces, practice how to be a real leader who isn't about ordering people, but it's about creating teams and inspiring them to move forward together, right? Like this whole paradigm shift in terms of what it means to be a man. So it's families, husbands, partners, work, community, where else?
Yeah.
Political leaders.
I think the through line for me maps to Daniel Goleman's work in social and emotional learning, social and emotional intelligence.
Yes, exactly. That's probably the biggest part of this, is it actually transforms, like it opens up the world of emotional intelligence to men.
Yeah.
And everything that comes from that. Yeah.
Because women in the male female kind of binary there.
Yeah.
Women get way more. I'm just going to throw this out there. I think I've read this in different books. Women get more learning and more development in the social realms through their life.
It's true.
And men get more development and education in the action doing thing.
Yes.
Dig a trench or, but we don't get as much education in the share your emotions openly and nurture community and keep your network, all of that. And
That's
these men's work sounds like at least one aspect of it is helping men develop their social and emotional intelligence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I did sort of point at that. Like for me, I was raised to just do what others were pointing me at, right? Mm-hmm. I was discouraged from naming my own desires.
Yeah.
Like, what is it that I want to bring to the world?
Which is your magician.
I was actually shamed when I said, I want to go do this. No, you need to follow the herd, sort of.
Yeah.
And so I carried that with me, and this work unlocked the possibility for me being my own king.
Yeah.
And since then, I've brought some things into the world that I could never have imagined doing. And the feedback I've gotten has been really great. Like people have really seen and valued a lot of things that I've done.
Heck yeah.
That would not have been possible without this support.
Yeah. Fourth question, why do you do this? Why have you done 20 plus years of men's work?
It's to continue developing myself. Like this journey is never over. It's like an onion I keep unwrapping, to further shine light on the ways that I limit myself and get the support to continue growing and sharing my gifts more fully. Mm-hmm. So that's my personal thing. And then the other, actually a part of what I love to give to the world is supporting others on their journey. So that's actually something I just love doing. And so being a part of this community fills both of those needs.
Yeah. Do you have your mission memorized? MKP?
I could say a mission statement. It's not exactly memorized.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a little, like it's not, you know.
Yeah. Would you share your mission statement?
Sure. So I do want to say up front that this is just one mission, right? There are others too. But the one that's really big for me is as a man among men, I create a world that is safe for all people to be their authentic selves.
Yeah.
And I do this by being authentic myself, by being catalytic, taking action that actually makes change, and by being courageous, because this involves stepping through tons of fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I create a safe world for people to be themselves by being authentic, catalytic, and courageous.
Yeah. Fifth question.
I love these questions.
Yeah, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth question is, what has been your big watersheds? I imagine in your men's work there have been breakthroughs or events that were transformative.
For me?
Yeah, for you personally. What have been transformative? When I think of men's work, when I think of my own work, I think of transformative experiences.
Right.
Like the initiation
Yeah.
in the MKP was a transformative experience.
Yeah.
When we did the Sweat Lodge in Wimberley, that was a transformative experience. When, there have been some psychedelic experiences I've had that were transformative, whether it's the ketamine-assisted psychotherapy or others.
Yeah. So immediately pops up, boy, do you have like 3 or 4 hours here? It's like, there's a lot here, but, and I know we're going to talk a little bit more about my own personal journey in a little bit. So, I think I'm just going to name I'm going to name 3 very briefly experiences I've had, just to sort of give you a glimpse of the things that are possible in this world. Okay. So on my men's weekend with MKP, I got to experience being reborn. And when I say the experience, I mean no clothing in a group of men. And this is a man who's always had a lot of body shame. So I was invited to choose to face, to show that, to go step through that shame and not have clothes on, and actually go through a birth canal experience. It was physical, into the arms of a loving, accepting father, which I'm tingling saying this right now, because that was so transformative, such a, actually realizing my actual experience and what I really needed.
Yeah.
And recreating that experience for myself.
Yeah, part of the MKP is psychodrama.
Yes.
And this was
experiential learning, experiential processing. Yes.
And in a group of people, you were able to recreate a birth scenario.
That's right.
And have it happen in the best possible way.
So powerful, so powerful. Okay, number 2. Number 2, after my second divorce, I went out to the East Bay And they have every year, they've got a 4-day retreat in the woods. And I went out there. And when we came back from the woods, I was at my brother's house up on a hill overlooking the Oakland Bay. It's like 10 o'clock at night. There's 15 men in this yard. And they did this. I was really traumatized by this divorce process. And they led me to energetically digging my own grave and having a burial memorial process for the old David. And then they led me to doing this rebirth, this like the new David, stepped out of the ground and celebrated this new David in front of all these men and in front of the world. It was like on top of this hill. Holy moly. Just thinking about it, the impact of that was just
another
incredible
psychodrama type of ritual.
That's right.
Where you buried your old self, you buried the past.
That's right.
I think about people kind of
not just in my mind. This was fully energetic.
Physical, yeah.
It was integrated. Everything.
And in community.
And being seen in that and loved and supported.
The world sees this
not alone
death.
with my journal, but out like in the world.
Yeah. The world sees the death. They see the rebirth. You're now a man, a new man.
That's right. That's right.
That's number 2.
Number 2. And number 3, I'm a part of this community, and they have an initiation process. Initiation is kind of like figuring out where your wounds are and sharing that with everyone, figuring out what your goal is, sharing that with everyone, and going through some challenges to get to, again, kind of embrace this new you, right? In community. So every year we go into the Mendocino State Park and do these things together, including initiation. And boy, I don't see. So I got to, again, face my challenges around my body. And I got to climb this big hill, blindfolded, scary, like in the middle of the night, drums beating everywhere, fear coming up, walking up a hill, holding someone's hand. And at the top of it, taking off my blindfold, and I'm naked and being surrounded by a huge community of men holding space for me. And I got to claim who I am in that. Like, it's like I'm on another planet, and yet I'm at home. I can't tell you the impact of these kinds of experiences. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds real powerful. Yeah.
I've got more too, but that's
those are 3 great ones. I think all men's work stuff isn't naked, everybody.
Right.
Just these were.
No.
But not all the time.
No. In fact, where it's beneficial is for the men where that's a problem.
Where there's body shame.
Right.
Where they're not comfortable with their body. They think they
that's
right.
Hide it. And so we're not doing that. Just for it's not sexual.
Yeah, it's not a weird thing, guys.
It's nothing like that. Yeah, you can project that on us, but that's not it at all.
That's not it at all.
It's about being fully accepting ourselves and each other. Yeah,
man. And as we wrap up the 5 questions, one thing that came to mind was I said earlier we did a sweat lodge together, and as you were talking, I had a little shadow or a little ghost in the back going like, appropriation. Is this appropriation? I went, what are we calling it? Didn't we not call it Sweat Lodge? Because the Mankind Project was gifted, is my understanding, this ritual from the Lakota Indians.
Yeah.
And they don't use it currently, right? Because of...
So let me speak to this real quick. Yeah. So back in the 90s, MKP was formed. The men that formed it had a desire to use some Native American rituals as part of all this work, and they worked with some Native Americans, Lakotas, I believe, and they adopted several processes as part of this work. The short of it is that in the last several years, there's been some pushback from people in the indigenous communities about cultural appropriation. I think that's the term. The short of it is that MKP has divested themselves of all of those rituals. I'm not going to get into the pros and cons of that, or none of that.
Right.
But what's happened is that they've basically developed new processes that with the similar intentions.
Right.
And I've been on a couple of trainings, and it's like as good or better than before. So.
And I thought whatever we're calling it, it wasn't Sweat Lodge. What did we call it?
Sweat Lodges, yeah.
We did?
Yeah.
It was a powerful, transformative experience.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for it.
Mm-hmm.
And my participation in it wasn't in any way, the intention wasn't to take something from another culture.
Yeah, so my judgment, MKP has always used these practices for positive intentions.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, Phil Phails, 5 questions. We did it.
Fantastic.
This is the part in the interview where I can put down the pen and paper. And there's one step before we do the deep dive into the David deep dive. And that's a little fun and play.
All right.
So we have some improv. I'll lead us in some improv games.
Fantastic.
A couple of them, just to kind of clear the air and ground us and just have fun.
Fantastic.
Build some rapport.
One of the things I love is helping adults play.
Yeah.
So you're like that as well, and I really value that in you. And so lead the way.
Heck yeah. 3 games I'll offer, and you could pick the one you like.
Okay.
We could do more than one. One is 1, 2, 3. The second one is Mirror Cat, and the third one is Sound Ball.
I don't know any of these.
You don't?
I don't.
Okay.
I may have played them. I just don't remember them.
Which one would you like to play?
What's the middle one?
Mirror Cat.
Mirror. What's your preference? You know what they are.
I like all of them.
Yeah?
They're all 3 of them are tons of fun.
Yeah. Let's do Mirror Cat.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Let's do Mirror Cat. Okay. So Mirror Cat is a game where when it starts out, I have kind of the power of the game, and you are a mirror for me. So when I put my hands up, you'll mirror it.
Got it. I call this miming.
And then you'll mirror it with your face. And then at some point in this journey, at some point in the mirroring, without us communicating it, you'll take the reins and I'll follow you, and we'll pass this back and forth a little bit. And
Whoops. Oh, it's not going to work. I can't believe you got to mirror me. I can't believe we're doing this on video.
Yeah. Pat yourself on the back, David. That's Mirror Cat.
So much fun.
That's Mirror Cat. We got time. We can play one more. Let's see. Which of those other two, which one? 1, 2, and 3 or Sound Ball? Let's do 1, 2, 3. I like it because it strengthens our brain. It kind of gets our brain going. You want to do one like that?
Yes.
1, 2, or 3. It's easy. It's there's 1, 2, and 3, and they go in a loop. I say 1, and they're in order. 1, 2, 3.
1,
2,
3.
1,
2,
3.
1,
2,
3.
Okay, that's the beginning.
That's the beginning.
Now it gets it. There's gonna be levels.
Okay, I'm getting afraid here.
Yeah,
He's like, where is this going?
It's easy. 1, 2, 3. So now I'm gonna replace one of those numbers with a letter just to make it easy. I'm going to replace one of them and then another one and another one. And eventually we'll both choose and we'll replace one of them that hasn't been replaced yet. So if it went 1,
2,
3,
1,
B,
3,
1,
B,
3,
1,
B,
3,
A,
B,
3,
A,
B,
3,
A,
B,
C,
A,
B,
C,
A,
B,
C.
A.
So so now we get this kind of the concept. So let's go on to the third stage.
Can I I'm demoing vulnerability.
Okay.
Okay. I got to say, I'm a pretty bright guy.
Yeah.
And never had a really great memory, like never.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And I have fear that my biggest fear in life is that I will lose my memory. Like that's my biggest fear. So this kind of game is like triggering that a little bit.
Yeah. You feel scared right now that you won't be able to remember one of the things.
Exactly. I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, I can't do that. I can't. No. Yeah. And it's getting in the way. I just want to name that as what we're talking about here. Yeah.
We can do a different game.
No.
Okay.
I want to go through this in public. I'm going to, I may be a big fail here, everyone. I could be a part of Phil's fail.
Hopefully it is. I think failure's great.
There you go.
We're failing all the time.
All right, lead away.
So I say 1,
2,
3.
1.
Scoop, 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 scoop.
3.
1. 3.
1.
Scoot, 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 scoot.
3.
Boink, boink, boink. 3.
Boink, boink, boink.
Scoot, 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 scoot.
3.
Boink, boink, boink.
Boink, boink, boink.
Scoot, 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 scoot. Yes. So now I've made all the decisions to change.
I know.
Now we're going to share the power.
Oh my God.
But let's make sure we've changed all of them before we change one that has already been changed. Does that make sense?
Yes. And
so 1, 2, and 3 would all change before we change the second layer.
Yes. And are we sharing power from the beginning?
Yeah. From the beginning. The only goal is to go through 1, 2, 3 once at least. And then we can start changing.
And right after you change one, I could change the next one.
Yeah, you can.
Good.
Yeah, there's no wrong answers.
No wrong answers.
My goodness.
This is hard.
It's hard for you. It's hard for me too.
It's hard for everyone out there.
It's hard for everybody.
You're an expert at it.
I'm an expert.
Yeah, it's showing off.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Ready?
Yes.
You can start.
1,
2,
3.
Boop, boop, boop.
2.
3.
Boop, boop, boop.
2.
Wow.
Boop, boop, boop.
2.
Wow.
Bump, bump, bump. Wow.
Bump, bump, bump. Wow.
Wee wee. Wow.
Wee wee. Quack, 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 quack.
Boop. No, what is it?
Bump,
Bump, bump, bump. wah, wah, wah. Man, my memory is like getting,
Look,
it's like
let's
it's
pat
not,
ourselves on the back. We played 1, 2, 3. We played it.
wow. Wow.
Good job, David.
Boy.
You did it.
Can I ask, how easy is it for you to play that, like getting to a place where you've switched it all up 2 or 3 times?
It's confusing.
It is confusing for you.
Have to hold it.
Do you get lost?
I can.
Do you forget that?
I have.
Because I felt like I hit this place where I can't take in the new information because I'm still trying to hold on to this most recent set. And I can't, like I can do it in the moment, but then when I come back around, it's gone.
There's different ways to hold or store memories.
Right.
You can like create a house in your mind and you'd say like, oh, what's the thing in the living room? And then what's the thing in the kitchen? And then what's the thing in the bathroom?
Right.
And then when that thing changes.
Associate and then always go through the house in the same order.
And so I would say, I'm looking at a different thing in the kitchen. The first thing I'm looking at is 1, and then that changes to, a silverware. And silverware is what? So there's a way to like store memories differently.
This would be great to practice that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Way to go.
I love that.
Thank you for joining me on that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love playing, and I love when playing can lead us to push our edges. It's like a safe place to push our edges, right? Instead of like creating this container and going deep, it's like playing. I'm free to push, you know? Thank you for that.
You're not the first man who's sat across from me and had things come up in play.
Yes.
I had a mindfulness meditation facilitator and teacher that it was difficult for him. He had emotions come up in the invitation to be seen publicly playing.
Absolutely.
He felt, if I recall correctly, he felt overwhelmed, and we like stopped and talked about
if I fail in front of people,
and just to be playful as a man in public.
Right. To be seen as a childlike in front of others, you can't do that.
Can't do it.
You got to leave the child behind.
Standing up tall and straight and constantly ready for battle.
Absolutely.
I can't be playing with my kids' blocks.
That's right.
Ever.
So I lead these co-gender play groups, and part of that is, how do I show up in front of the other gender? Like we talk about these things. It's like, it's a great place to push all those boundaries. Yeah.
And we're getting to be, you're my elder. How old are you, David?
Do I need to reveal that?
I mean, you don't need to reveal it.
In front of everybody?
I mean,
my God.
It sounds like you're not comfortable revealing it.
Well, I used to not be comfortable, but I am proudly 65 years old.
65 years old.
That's right.
Yeah. And I'm 46 years old. So you're definitely one of our elders, an elder amongst our community. Is that
the elder is actually a role, like an energy that people take on. I don't want to get too deep into it.
Yeah.
And like it's associated, for me, it's associated with letting go of the making change, like doing things in the world, and more about supporting the community. That's sort of, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And at least right now, I think I'm going to not do so much of that, but continue doing
stuff in the world.
That's right. Yeah. Bringing my gifts and pushing my edges until I'm 105, That's
my bad on
that's kind of where I'm at.
Sharing that you're an elder. You're not an elder
So
yet.
that's a projection.
Yeah.
Right. And
I guess I was thinking of it purely in age.
I hear you. So this is what we do. Someone's age means this.
Yeah.
And most people, when I play tennis afterwards, they you're 48 or something, right? Like I look younger than I am. And I tell them that, and it's like, oh, wow, I had this impression of you. And now, we put all kinds of things on each other.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't know why that came up for me. I think it was.
You were trying to praise me, I think, right?
It was around
something positive.
Being role models. This idea that, there's a lot of folks that are a lot younger than us and that have had a lot less life experience.
Yes.
And there is, I believe there's a responsibility we have to model and to show up in the world having learned from all those experiences,
Yes.
and having grown through all
Yes.
those experiences, so we can help
Yes.
lead the way for younger folks.
Absolutely. So my word is mentorship. I fully claim that I love being a mentor and being mentored.
Yeah.
So
Me too.
That's a huge, so I haven't named this, that's a huge part of solid men's communities.
Yeah.
Is they offer opportunities to pair up with someone and kind of go on a journey together, sort of like in 12-Step and some other communities.
That's what Phails is.
What do you mean?
I invite people to mentor me in areas, and I've done it with more than 30 people now. And in each one, this is the beginning of a conversation that can continue. And through that continuation, last night, Cole Garrett, he was the one I failed at with photography. He was with me all evening, setting up all the lights and dialing in all the cameras. And we talked about photography, and we had an interview. I interviewed him again. And he looked at my photographs that I'd taken and critiqued them and gave feedback. And we looked at his photographs. And so this show is about mentorship.
That's so awesome.
About learning and growing, doing, reflecting.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. So yeah, so that's a core value in positive men's work is encouraging men to seek not only the support of the circle, but individual mentorship and skill development, career development, personal relationships.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of mutual mentorship, right? We're doing this with each other.
Something comes up for me. The book we read we've probably both been exposed to The Iron Giant, that book.
Iron John.
Iron John.
That's right.
That's right. Iron
Yes.
John. And part of that book is this relationship a young man has to an older man to get that mentorship. Do I remember that correctly?
Yeah, this is a longer conversation, but that's about like the wild man part of ourselves.
But I think it for me it maps to, in Joseph Campbell's hero's journey that plays out in all the movies and all the best stories. If we just look at Star Wars.
Yeah, and also like around the world. Like this is a cultural thing.
Yeah, it's not just American.
That's right.
But if we just look at Star Wars,
yes.
You have Luke Skywalker, a part of his growth, a part of his trajectory, a part of his ascension is connecting with Obi-Wan Kenobi, this older, wise master, and being mentored.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring it up is I have this fear that in our current kind of culture, a younger person being connected to an older person is automatically kind of seen as weird or strange around,
Like the older person might be grooming the younger person. That's where people
doing
go.
something, that's not
it's true.
Not virtuous.
So one of the benefits of having a community that has a lot of bonds and everyone knows each other and creating mentorship within that container is that other people get to observe these other relationships.
Yeah.
This is a really good point. Okay, so I got to name this, is I have been a part of a number of growth communities, and I would say half of them, broadly speaking, have had this quality of having one or two or three people sort of at the top. These are the founders. They're the thought leaders. They're seen as the leaders of this community. And as a consequence of, or maybe it started out this way, I don't know, but there's this power dynamic that I have seen in communities where these people in power start to abuse their power. And often they'll create these relationships where there's this power dynamic, right? And we know where all that can go. It can just, be all kinds of negative things that can happen.
Yeah.
So when I got involved with Mankind Project, I was very sensitive to looking at this issue. Mankind Project has very formal mechanisms in place to oversee the leaders. Like on the weekends, there are these men that are tasked with being shadow watchers, and they're actually just observing the leaders, looking for certain types of power-focused behaviors. And they have check-ins during the weekend, and then afterwards they get to report to other people outside the circle. So there's like this attempt to circumvent these kinds of issues.
Yeah.
And I've actually seen MKP where I was on a weekend and there's a man that chose to do some real different things that, like, he thought and people and followed him because we were following his leadership. And it turned out that they basically said he's not going to be a leader anymore because he actually went down these kind of power trippy roads, And that just totally increased my trust even more. That there's, they see that there's a pattern, and we've got to set up systems to make sure that we don't have, gurus and power trippers and stuff like that.
That's like transparency, bringing everything into the light, that there's oversight.
Absolutely.
Accountability.
Yeah.
There's
it's a safe place for even the lowest man to say things in the circle to the leader and to have the men support that communication.
Right.
I've seen that many times.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
Yeah. I'm glad we spoke about that. So this is the part where we dive into David's life story.
Okay.
And it starts from the beginning with, where were you born?
I was born in Nolens.
In Nolens,
Louisiana.
For all those folks out there that are not familiar with
okay, I can say New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Or New Orleans.
Nolens. That's spelled
New Orleans.
N'_AWLIN'.
Yes, that's right. New Orleans. Nolens.
No, there's an S in there. You're born in Nolens?
That's right. In Metairie. That's right.
Oh, I know where Metairie is. Yeah. And City Park, is that in Metairie? Anyway, you were born in New Orleans?
That's right. How detailed do you want to go here? What are we doing here?
Well, you
want to know my emotional development, like the big parts of my life, like what I see looking back, the big parts of my life, or what in relationship to my personal development?
Comfortable with the uncertainty around how we're going to discuss your life story.
Well, I'm just curious. Like, what do you want me to focus on?
Well, you were born in New Orleans.
I was, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can just focus on that right now, and then I'll ask another question.
Okay.
And then you can answer that one or not.
Okay.
I'll guide us.
Good.
Yeah. And as we're talking about this, you can feel free to not answer questions or to say, hey, I don't want to talk about that, or you can answer questions.
It's another great principle in all the positive support circles is you can always pass.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, you could pass. You were born into what type of family?
My family,
like from a real, this is a data type of question. So there was your parents were married at the time. There was other brothers and sisters at the time.
Yeah, they were married. My dad from Alabama, my mom from Arkansas. Two older brothers, and I was the baby.
Yeah. How many kids in the
three boys?
3 boys in this family.
Yes.
Are your parents still married, or if they're still alive, did they stay married their whole life?
They did. Yeah. And my dad is 93.
Oh wow.
And he lives close to me, and he's still pretty highly functioning. Yeah. My mom passed away 10 years ago after 8 years of Alzheimer's. Yeah.
What's her name?
Billy Helen Green.
Billy Helen Green.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a beautiful name.
Yeah.
So your mom passed away 10 years ago. Your dad's still alive and
right.
living close to you. So y'all have a connection.
That's right. Yeah.
And you were the third of 3 boys.
Yes.
I think of Well, let's talk about birth order a little bit.
Uh-huh.
You were the third, so you're the baby, right? Is that what they say? The last one that's born is kind of the baby of the family.
So it's easy to make up stories and generalize here. I mean, just saying.
Yeah.
I could have been the baby, but could have been the badass, Mr. Responsible.
What were you?
I was the baby.
Yeah.
I was the baby. Not only was I the baby chronologically, I was the entry into the family of this little ball of playful emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was that. And my judgment is that there wasn't a lot of that in my family outside of me.
Playfulness, playful, loving energy.
Or expression. Just real, like letting it all out. Yeah.
Did your brothers kind of in your memory, fall into kind of a classic birth order archetypes? Like your oldest is the type A, go out there and get it, kind of the ruler of the kids.
The way I'd say it is my dad, strong, silent type, hard worker. He would do anything for the family.
Mm-hmm.
Never about himself, ever. It was always, and coach baseball, football. Like whenever he had time, he was there as a father, but very few words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
No words of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Like none of that. Okay, my oldest brother followed that model and kind of emotionally quiet, but would do whatever my dad, modeled. He followed that, follow the rules, do everything that way. And the middle brother was sort of like, didn't have a place, kind of always felt like he was on the periphery, like he didn't have a solid role. But my oldest brother was this. I was the baby, very connected with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I think my mom was a lot brighter and had a lot more stuff to give than she allowed herself. I turned out she was like an incredible basketball player in high school. Me and my other brother and my dad played college basketball. We used to play basketball in the driveway all the time. I didn't find out my mom was such a good basketball player until I was 15 years old. She hid that.
She could have been playing with y'all.
She could have been
schooling y'all.
She could have been. She could have been. But that wasn't. There was no space for the woman to do that with
participate.
The guys. Yeah. My heart just feels like I don't even know all that she could have. She was a great mom. Yeah. She did her role fantastic.
Was she a stay-at-home mom?
She was.
And your dad was the breadwinner? That's
right. It was very traditional.
What type of work did he do?
He worked in the oil industry.
Oil industry.
Yeah, a lot of it was offshore, so after New Orleans, we moved to Grand Isle, which is a little island off of Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
And he would fly on a helicopter and 8 days working, 2 days off, that kind of thing for a long time, yeah.
Was he gone a lot?
When he was doing that, he would spend 8 days away.
8 days, but before that, when you were in New Orleans?
Well, I was only up to 3.5 years old.
Okay.
I don't really remember.
So
then when I was 3.5, I moved to Grand Isle. I remember those days. And, there were sometimes he would work 7 and 7, or like he'd work more at home.
Mm-hmm.
But so it varied a lot. There were times when he was much more present than other times.
Right.
And when he was present, he would get involved with my sports, He loved supporting that, yeah.
What was it like having that scenario where your dad would leave for 7 days and it'd be you and your brothers and your mom, and then he'd come back? And then was there any challenge with him reintegrating with the family? Because I'd imagine your mom would have to set new kind of rules and boundaries and expectations when he's gone to,
I honestly, I don't remember that. I don't remember it ever. I want to say, I could point at the things that were not good about my childhood, but I always felt loved, always felt safe, always.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel the big challenge for me was that my family tried to suppress my expression. Like they never, it's probably very typical for boys not to be encouraged to do artistic work.
That was your experience.
This was my experience. It's like anything like music or art or even just emotionality, that was suppressed.
By your mom and your dad?
By the whole family.
By everybody?
Yeah, my brothers would mock me when I would, act silly or stuff like that. Like I was a baby, I was like acting like a baby, even when I was 8, 9 years old.
Being artistic was acting like a baby.
I think that's the message I got.
Or being expressive, being entertaining with...
Trying to encourage more connection. Like, let's feel each other. This is what I think was underneath it, is I wanted to be free to express who I was, and I wanted us to feel that with each other and celebrate it.
Yeah.
My words, right? And no, this was too edgy, too much. We got to keep it cool,
Everybody needs to hold in their emotions.
Yes.
It's very stoic or very kind of...
Stoic is a good word.
Individual people that
do your work,
manage their own
focus
stuff.
on your school, do that, make dinner, but none of this. We're not going to dance in the kitchen.
You're one.
My parents would never have any physical displays of affection.
Between them or between you guys?
But maybe I got a few hugs from my mom. Rarely from my dad. There was very little of that modeling, yeah.
What was... When you remember any felt sense of love with your mom or your dad, what were you doing? Like, when did you feel loved? Or how?
Well, I think I interpret... So I said I felt safe and I felt loved. Always felt safe, yeah. I felt safe. I felt like they would do anything to make sure I was safe. Mm-hmm. And I still believe that.
Is there any moments where you felt loved or you felt loving connection with your mom?
Oh, yeah.
What were you doing?
So I want to say that my mom, because she was, this human needing love and being seen, but she couldn't express that in our family. I've kind of mentioned that, like her intelligence and her athleticism and stuff, there wasn't much space for her to... She always deprecated herself, like she wasn't as smart as the men.
Okay.
She'd say that.
Okay.
And I felt the same way. Like I was not as smart as the other men. I wasn't as good as the other men, right? I always felt that. So she and I think, had a bond around feeling less than.
What were y'all like physically doing while that bond was unfolding? Would y'all do things together, or what were would you come home from school and you would have talks, or would y'all...
Not talks.
Like, how would that unfold?
So I have I could name a few things, but I have this one thing that always comes to mind is, so this was before I started going to school. I still remember we did this a number of times. Grand Isle is an island, and I've drawn this picture. I've kind of led self-expression workshops, and like name a time when you were a child when you felt really loved, and it's such a beautiful experience. Okay, so here's a little do you know what a pier is? Like a big wooden pier out into the Gulf, right? Yeah. So my mom would, when everyone was at work or at school, my mom would take me to the beach, and I would carry 2 buckets. One of them had a bunch of chicken wings, and the other one was empty. And we walk out on the pier, and then she'd pull out this string or rope with hooks on it, and she'd ask me, "David, give me another wing." She'd take the wing and she'd hook it on the hooks, and then she'd put it in the water, and then she'd pull it up, and there'd be a bunch of crabs. And then she'd pull the crabs off, and she'd say, "Hand me the bucket," and I'd hold up the other bucket, and she'd put the crabs in there. And then she was just constantly just saying, you're my big little man, David. I couldn't do this without you."
Yeah.
And I still remember just feeling so loved. Yeah. Like I was able to actually be her little man.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that was so missing most of the time.
Yeah.
And when it happened, it was beautiful for me. Yeah.
What about with your dad?
So I just want to name that that was the world of me doing and showing up as the little man, as the correct version of being a little man. You with me? Being of service.
Yeah.
Being useful.
You and your mom were doing
like
something.
my dad, like going out and being service to other people, right? So that's what was encouraged.
Yeah.
It was rare. Like, I don't even remember. David, that's a fantastic drawing.
Y'all were working together
I was helping my mom.
to get crabs.
That's right. I was helping my mom.
You were helping your mom get crabs.
And no one else could do it like I could.
And when you were helping your mom get crabs, you felt a lot of love and connection with
That's
your mom.
right. Yeah.
Like you were important.
That's right.
And you felt loved.
That's right.
What about with your dad?
Probably when in the sports realm, that's where I felt the most encouragement from him.
Y'all would do sports together?
That's right. We'd practice, or he would be a coach or something. And I did baseball and basketball very close to him, and got a lot of praise from him. And that felt really good.
When you did good at sports,
That's right.
you'd get praised.
That's right. Yeah.
And you felt loved.
I did.
I have this assumption that he didn't tell you he loved you a lot.
That's true.
But he showed you he loved you by being with you and working with you in sports.
Yeah, and he praised me when it's when I was doing something in a good way, right?
And it's almost like...
But I just want to say, the part that was missing for me, it's very clear, is I don't remember any times when I would come home from school with a drawing or singing a song or dancing or anything that was expressive and saying, David, you're so good at that. Do more. Hey, could you do that? Like, I love this picture. There was none of that.
This is the king side that was suppressed. This is the direction that I want to go in the world. These are the things that I'm excited in the world, and I'm showing you the things I'm excited in and that I want to invest my time and energy in. And they're starving those things of attention.
It's more the self-expression part, the artistic, the creative, the lover, a lot of the lover energy.
So when they were nurturing was the sports, and they were nurturing the service with the craft.
That's right.
Those are the times when they gave you positive reinforcement.
That's correct, yes.
They didn't give you positive reinforcement when you were doing artistic things or being silly or being expressive and entertaining.
That's right.
What was discipline like in your household?
I think there were maybe 3 or 4 times where I got spanked, but they didn't do that very much.
Not much.
No. I think there were timeouts. I didn't feel like there was. I think all the kids were fairly. I don't know the right word, but cooperative. So. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was your...
I think that where there might, like, I think, as I grew older, if there were things that I really wanted to do that they wouldn't have liked, I just hid it from them. Yeah.
Was your mom the disciplinarian? Was your dad, or did they share that?
I think they shared it, because a lot of times my dad wasn't there. Yeah.
Well, so when there was...
I don't remember them yelling ever.
At each other?
At each other or at me. Like, I don't remember anything that could be verbal abuse or anything. So they think they were pretty calm with me. Yeah. The only time it was a little uncomfortable is like when I was around my mom and I would get kind of maybe hyper or a little more expressive, and it would start aggravating my mom. And my dad 1,000 times would come in the room and said, David, stop that. You're upsetting your mom. David would upset his mom a lot.
Have you ever been diagnosed with ADHD or any kind of neurodivergence?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think I know I talk about my expressiveness quite a bit, but I think that's more just like it's this dynamic of what was lacking. And I am expressive, but I can also be very calm and manage my feelings well too. So
your dad would come in whenever he got a sense, his like spider senses would
he
tingle
took
that
care of
mom was
Mom.
getting overwhelmed. He would come in and say, "Knock it off, David.
That's right.
Your mom needs to chill."
That's right. And then my brother, my oldest brother especially, he picked up on that, and he joined forces anytime he could,
Yeah.
shut David down. That gets strokes from Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
And the last 10 years since my mom's passed, I have looked for opportunities to put some of these things on the table with my dad and my brothers. And we're all so much closer because of it.
What is your earliest memory as a human being?
It's a tough one. I have a memory that showed up in my dreams, so it's mixed with reality and dream. But I don't know if I was two and a half years old on a little tricycle right outside my front yard. There was this really big tree, big oak tree or something. And I can still see all this. And there were some bugs crawling around on the tree. I remember that. And then in my dreams, that has shown up at times as a million bugs coming out of the tree, like a kind of a nightmarish thing. But that's the earliest kind of big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And you were in the family unit until how old? When did you move away? I guess were you on that island until you went to college?
No. When I was when I was around 5.5, maybe 6, we moved to another town for a year, and then after that we moved to Franklin, and then that's where I was from like 4th grade until graduating high school.
Was in Franklin?
Yeah, in Franklin. So that was kind of a central part of my childhood.
What is Franklin? Louisiana?
Franklin, Louisiana, yeah. 15,000 people.
Okay.
Pretty small town.
What was it like?
Significant parts of it. Probably the biggest part was I was in school, in junior high through high school, when integration was pulled into the public schools in Louisiana. So in junior high, I went to the school that was formerly the black high school. So you had all these white people coming over and integrating into this school. And I think I was there for 2 years. There were a number of, let's call them race riots, walking around school and getting hit and stuff. Like there was this constant tension.
You got hit?
Yeah. You had to constantly be aware of where you were and what you were doing.
Who'd you get hit by?
What I'm referring to is black boys that were, like there was this tension among the races.
The black boys didn't want you going to their school.
I can't speak for them, but I imagine there was probably a lot of reasons why they weren't real happy about what was going on.
What was that like? So you were there when they started integrating the schools. Right. So white kids and black kids would go to school together.
Yeah. It was, I didn't have anything to compare it to, but it was, there was, I think, always some anxiety for people, feeling like not totally safe all the time. You
felt a lot of anxiety and not being safe in school.
I'm sure it was there, yeah. Yeah. The bigger part came when I actually went to high school. So then I went to high school. When my brother went to this high school, it was like 90+% white, and then some more blacks, and mostly blacks were the other part. And by the time I graduated, it was 30% white and 70% black. So you see that shift, right? Like it was total cultural change.
Yeah.
And during that time, so many whites went to the Catholic schools. Their parents pulled them out of the school, and they created these new schools that only white kids would go to. Like it was just blatant racial conflict and racial segregation and like pushback to the integration.
I could see, yeah, so the white families that were racist or didn't want their kids
are typical
educated.
Typical down there. Yeah, it was very
They
common.
moved their kids out of the public schools.
That's right.
And found schools that could be white only.
That's right. And so there was a lot of teachers that left the public school. Like it was this change, constant change. So a few things that were impactful for me is I've always been someone with a foot in lots of different bucket communities, but not just in one. Like there's different parts of me. I like to connect with lots of different kinds of people, which is great, but it also, nobody fully embraces you, right? Because,
you're a chameleon, a social chameleon.
That's right. And not really fully safe either, right? So part of me was in the National Honor Society. I was in the Thespian Society. I was in the sports teams. I remember getting in a car and my friend passing me a joint. And the other two guys looked at each other and said, is he cool? Like, because I was had a reputation as being a good student, but could I also be cool enough to be smoking weed in the back of
Yeah.
there was always, can you trust David to be a good member of this group?
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually dated a young woman who was black a few times. And then she pulled me aside and said, David, we can't do this anymore. I said, why not? We're having fun. We're fun, right? Yeah. But I've had a couple of guys approach me and they said, if we see you with David again, we're just going to kick his ass. So there was this racial dynamic happening that was
Gosh.
there's all this stuff going on. And so so I played basketball, and as I said, when my brother went to school, it was almost all whites on the team. When my senior year, I was the only white on the starting team.
Of course, the black people played better sports.
Well, they were good at basketball, but this was true with all the schools around there.
Yeah.
This is kind of funny. So I was often the only white guy on the court.
Shane Gillis has this skit. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
He's got this skit where he's at one of these schools as they're integrating.
Okay.
And at the beginning, they're like, we're just going to take our boys out there and keep the white whole team. And they went out and just got crushed by all the other teams they integrated.
Right.
And at the end, they're like, well, we're going to integrate. And the thing that comes up for me in this is how the adults in our culture are creating turmoil for children to deal with. Like integrating schools, and now you have race riots in schools and teachers and all this tension and conflict, and yet it needs to occur. There needs to be connection. Like you're a connector. There needs to be networking and social integration. We need to all,
I believe that.
I would ask the question, have we done it? I'll say from my perspective, I don't have many black friends. I don't have many friends of other races.
Yes.
While we might have integrated schools,
yes,
I still, and I don't know why.
Yes.
Like, it's not like I wake up in the morning and say, I'm only going to hang out with white people.
Yes.
I'm not going to be in black communities. But it seems like we've, from my observation, kind of stayed in our little groups.
Yeah.
While we're going to school together, even in schools, there's divisions that are social and unspoken.
Yeah.
Except for maybe when they come together for the photo club. But
you
even
might be mixed
club,
in the classroom, you're mixed, but in the cafeteria, you can see the separate.
Or in your mind, the networks. And this is just me.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is everybody else. And part of me feels scared to share it because it's some like evidence of my racism.
Yeah. Yeah. I think without naming it, we're not going to change anything.
Yeah.
And I do think that there's a lot that's just a part of it is cultural and a part of it is wiring, and it's very complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think the least we can do is say, I'd like to be open to a diverse set of friends and be actually open to it.
Yeah. Your tone of your voice has changed some. The volume's gone down a little bit. I think there's a seriousness with this topic.
Absolutely.
That changes.
It matters a lot to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It matters to me too.
Could I share just a little bit more about this? Do we have time?
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time do you need?
This is about my high school experience.
Oh, absolutely.
And it touches on this issue of racism.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a little bit, so here I am, the only white guy on the court, right? You got this mixed crowd of people, but on the court, it's all black guys playing. And there's David, right? Mm-hmm. David was a pretty good basketball player. If he hadn't gotten injured, he probably would have played small college basketball. I got injured after my senior year. But so imagine you go out on the court and you get the ball and you score on this guy who's guarding you, and then you do it again, and maybe you do it a third time. It was so predictable. The guys on the benches of the other team saying, "Stop that honky from doing that," right?
Yeah.
And it was just like the guys guarding me had all this pressure on them to do whatever they had to do to stop me.
Because it wasn't just basketball. It was a race war out there.
Absolutely. It was like shaming him for letting this white dude do this.
Best him.
That's right. It's a lot at stake, right?
Goodness.
Yeah. And so very predictable over the course of the year, maybe there was 15 games. I swear to you, at least 12 of the games, I got into a pushing match where, I'd shoot and they would just hack the hell out of me. And I was forced, or they'd push me, and the referees were a little shy about calling it. So there's this pushing going on. So I'm having to defend myself. Mm-hmm. And at least 12 of the games, I was involved in a pushing match, or like where I had to guard someone else or something. We had to deal, and this was happening, right? It was like everyone knew it was happening. End of the year, the sports banquet. Guess who got Sportsman of the Year?
You did.
I did, which I think is hilarious.
Because you endured that.
I guess that was the reason, but at the same time, I was involved in all these altercations, and
would you fight physically? Would you?
Well,
fists.
I don't think I ever swung at a person.
That's why you got the Sportsman Award.
Maybe I definitely did push people. I definitely got involved in that. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just how weird that situation was. Just the weirdness of it. Okay. The second thing I wanted to share was that at the end of the year in football, the senior year, the homecoming football game, halftime, they had the band, and then they had the homecoming king and queen walk across the field. So I was the student council president. I had my foot in everything, right? And I walked across the field with Myra Burrell, 6'1", black girl, afro like this, beautiful young girl. We weren't, we were friends. Mm-hmm. We walk across the field, black woman, white man in front of this crowd. It was both terrifying and one of the happiest moments of my life. Mm. Yeah. I could just feel like there was like this significant thing was happening, that had never happened before. Yeah. Yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to share was, I think I was in either 10th or 11th grade. All this integration was happening in high school, and there's all this stuff happening, right? And my parents set me down one evening, And they said, David, we know how hard it is going to school with all the tension and things going on. And then they said that we know it's really hard on you, and they're like, and we really want you to learn how to get along with all kinds of people. And we know it's really hard, and we'll be here for you, but we want you to stay in school and figure this out. And I just want to say, like, my dad, I knew this. My dad was from Selma, Alabama. If you know where Selma is.
That's where the beginning of the march.
That's right. It's where the bridge with all the dogs and the fire hoses happened, right?
Yeah.
And I had experience at this point going there and experiencing and seeing the racism that was there. And Arkansas, same thing. Like, I knew that my parents came from a very racist environment, and here we are in the backlash to this integration. And my parents are like, no, we're with you. We want to see all this change happen, and we're with you. We're not going to support you running away from it. And I don't know if I've ever felt more love from them than I felt in that moment. It was just like there was a part of me that's like, oh, rescue me, you know? But there was this big part of me that's like, holy moly, they love me, they want me to be safe, and yet they love me enough to say, you can do it. You can do this. This is important, you know?
Yeah, I think of a piece of coal enduring tremendous pressure over time, turning into a diamond.
I don't know, but it was super impactful for me. Yeah.
Your folks were your folks racist?
No, is what I'm saying, is that they had every opportunity to display racism, and I don't remember them ever doing anything that I've, like, overtly. I'm sure they did some subconscious stuff, right? But no.
They believed and supported integration.
Absolutely. And I still, to this day, I'm like, what the hell? Like, how did this happen?
What do you mean?
Like, given where they came from, how did they turn out to be that way? I don't know.
You don't have any, does your dad share anything about that?
We've talked about it. It's just how they were. They just, like, we always felt like treating everyone the same was the right thing to do. Like, okay.
Seems so easy.
Okay.
Treating everybody with love and kindness and compassion and empathy.
It wasn't until later that I went back home and I had more awareness about systemic racism that I actually saw just how much racism was ingrained in Southern Louisiana, the working world, the schools, everything. It was just like, it was like a veil, like when you're in it, you don't see it.
I think it was spanned further than Southern Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
Mississippi, Alabama.
Oh, big time.
Georgia.
But I did not know about it, that even though I was in it. Like, I couldn't date this girl because of this going on, all the fights, everything. Like, I still did not really get it. It was interesting.
That had to have changed you and really influenced you. It seems like your parents wanted you to find the gifts in the tension, the gifts in interacting with a lot of different types of people.
Yeah.
It seems like you wanted that too. You had your foot in all the different groups and also playing sports with folks, the Black folks.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always really enjoyed meeting people from other places, and yeah, definitely.
This brings us to, you graduated, you injured yourself. You had a dream of being in basketball and going to college and playing basketball. How'd you hurt yourself?
Oh, I was playing basketball and I went up and a guy undercut me and I landed on my back and hurt my back, and yeah.
And your basketball career was ended.
I actually played more, but I couldn't jump anymore. So I turned from being a forward to a guard. And I was still good, but I couldn't, do what I was doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that turned out to be a gift. So one of the things about men's work that I really see, we talk about all the time, is where your wounds are is where your gifts are.
Mm-hmm.
So that thing, like I'm like learning from your challenges, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was going to go to a small school, not get a good education, but go play basketball. And that got wiped off the table, and I went to a better school, and it's probably a good thing, right?
Yeah. The gifts in the challenges or the gifts in the breaks, I think of the Japanese tradition of when you break an object, you repair it with gold.
Did not know about that.
So it's more cherished after being repaired with this tremendous care and an intention that the repairing process increases
Enhances
the value.
I had not heard of that.
Yeah.
Like what we do is get out the scotch tape and whatever.
They put tremendous care and intention to the repair, and
beautiful.
Through that, it's stronger. It's more
beautiful.
It's more beautiful.
Yeah.
And they appreciate that. That's the wabi-sabi. The imperfections are what make things really beautiful.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
When you were growing up in the household and in school, did you identify as a good kid?
Within the groups where that was valued, yes.
But you were bad kids to other places? Like
I was what?
Like you always made good grades, you always did your chores, you wanted to be seen as a good kid.
It was a mix for me.
It was.
Because I knew that when I did not make the grades that I could have. Mm-hmm. And there was a part of me that didn't like, I wanted to be seen and liked by people who didn't value that. There was this tension. I didn't want to be this, this straight A guy.
Right.
Yeah. Because then the cool kids wouldn't like me, and the sports guys wouldn't like me, and the shit kickers, the cowboy types, like I wanted to be a part of everything.
So you almost maybe tamped down your intelligence in order to fit in a lot of areas where you could have made really great grades. You were aware that was part of the social game you're playing.
I think so. Subconsciously, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to go forward a little bit?
Well, yeah. If you,
I don't know how much time we have here yet.
We have about 30 minutes.
Okay, great. Okay. So, yeah, so let's move forward. So, there's this thing that happened that has been showing up in the last several years. Like I've told this story a number of times, and that people tend to appreciate is when I was a senior in high school, I was in the National Honor Society, and we had a banquet, 120 people there. And there was a small high school, and they were trying to get a little talent thing, like who's going to get up and sing or read poetry or something for the audience. And I was signed up to play my guitar, strum my guitar for this Carolyn who was going to sing. And so I was going to do that, and then they needed more, and they finally convinced me to sing a song in front of all these people. Not something I'd ever done before. So that night, I strummed Peaceful, Easy Feeling, Eagles, and I sang. People clapped. I got off stage. On the way home, my parents didn't say a word about that. What message do you think David, given everything I've told you, took on from that?
You're asking me?
I am.
It's the through line for all of this is that it wasn't okay to be expressive or to entertain or to be artistic and creative.
There you go. So the message I took on was I must have sucked. If I'd actually done well, they would have said something, So I took on this message, I sucked. And I made a decision that I would never, ever sing in front of a group of people again by myself.
At that time.
At that time, I was 18 years old.
But you wanted to. You enjoyed singing and playing music.
I did.
But without
I created that all on my own, even though my family wasn't into it at all. I went and got a guitar and learned how to strum, and like I did that without any of their support. And then I showed it to them. Got no words.
Yeah, it does take. It takes some tending an ember to create fire, and when you
need to have a safe place to do it
there, and they said they didn't give it. It's almost like they starved of oxygen.
This is the message I took away. Okay. And 42 years later, no, 42. Yes, 42. I was 60 years old. I had a birthday celebration. I had a fire circle behind a guy's house. There were 15 men there. I asked everyone to bring something vulnerable to share. At the end of all that, I got up with the ukulele that I had just picked up about 4 months before.
And sang Peaceful, Easy Feeling?
I sang Leaving on a Jet Plane.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared to death. I was terrified. I forgot all the words. I stood up there and said, guys, I've forgotten all the words. I'm terrified here.
Mm-hmm.
And they all were like just so supportive. The words came back and I rocked it. And they knew the story and they really celebrated that, you know?
Yeah.
And since then, I've gone down on South Congress or 6th Street and I've sung on the sidewalks.
Yeah.
And I've been to open mics and I've led open mics and I've really pushed into this edge of, I've done all this shit, right? Mm-hmm. And my fear of singing around other people has gone from 9 to like a 1. Like I'm very comfortable doing that now.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, me and my brother would go have meals with my dad outside because we wouldn't go inside with him. And I brought my ukulele and played it in front of my dad and my brother. Then knowing that there was this tension, mm-hmm. and my brother, the first time in my life, said, "David, you're pretty good." I'd never heard that from him before.
Yeah.
And then I told my brother this story about what happened when I was 18, and my dad was over here, and I told it to my brother. And then as I got to the end of it, my dad says, "David, that's not what happened." He said, we were sitting, my dad has a great memory. He said, we were sitting at the table, we heard you play, and your mom said, "John, I didn't know David was so good." And Dad said to her, "I know, he was awesome, right?" That's what they said.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't get that message.
And I went over and me and my dad just bawled with each other.
That you didn't get that message.
No, I didn't.
They had shared that message
with them at their table, but they didn't share that with me.
This little nurturance that you need to go the next step.
I took away the exact opposite.
I stank.
And my dad heard me, and he apologized for it, and he felt me.
40 years
later.
More,
yeah, 40 years later.
Living this belief that your folks thought you stank at
That's right. So I have had the courage to put these kind of things in front of my family different times when it feels okay. And it's really brought us all. In fact, the last time I did it, my dad shared several moments when he was in high school, when he wanted his parents' approval and they didn't give it to him, and how awful that was. Mm. And my dad cried about that in front of me. My dad cried in front of me about something that happened when he was in high school, very similar.
Yeah.
And then he pulled me over to him. I was sitting next to him. He pulled me over to him and he grabbed my head and he pulled me to his chest and said, "David, I love you so much."
Oh.
I just want, this is so, yeah. That's exactly what I had dreamed would happen when I went through that birth canal on my MKP weekend, and I crawled into the lap of the man that I had picked to be my ideal dad. I crawled in his lap and put my whole body on him, and I told them beforehand, I want him to say these words. And a big part of that was, David, I love you so much.
And you realize that.
And I realized that. And so that would not have happened to all you, whoever's watching this thing, that would not have happened without the support and the encouragement of the men's work that I've been involved in. Would not have even, none of this would have happened.
Inviting your dad to connect with you in that way.
That's right.
The men's work, the journey of men's work gave you a roadmap, a courage, insight, the
confidence,
and the
self-awareness,
communication ability.
Yes. Emotional intelligence, all that. Yeah.
To invite a dialogue with your dad and probably with your brothers that have allowed you to realize the connection and the intimacy with your family that you've always wanted.
That's right.
But when you were a kid, you were a kid.
That's right.
You had to go along with whatever was there in the family unit. You didn't have all those skills.
Right.
So you were starved of that social and emotional connection and learning.
Yeah. Yeah. So that happened high school, and it's like there's a thread, right, to the present.
Yeah.
And
your dad's high school. It goes back.
And my dad's high school.
Then you realize why he is the way he is.
Exactly. And I was very clear with him that I don't hold anything against you. I know, I don't want to go too deep into that, but he felt really seen, and he's acknowledged that he was not that emotionally open as a father,
and was modeled that.
And I think he sees where that came from.
Hurt people.
Exactly.
And it's not even that they hurt people explicitly; they just continue the cycles that were provided
Whatever's
to them.
Comfortable. Right.
And not questioning and not, going outside of them for a little bit and saying, what's the weather like out here outside of this shut-in, cabin?
Yeah.
Is it bright and sunny?
Yeah. So I've developed some passions and some parts of me that I am trying to authentically bring to the world, like telling people, what my needs are and how they might best meet them if they'd be open to it.
Yeah.
That's something that comes from this journey of not having my needs met and then realizing that maybe there's a way for us to bridge that gap.
Did you get that from nonviolent communication?
That was very helpful. Yeah. That's a great modality.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's others, but MKP definitely embraces teaching men how to own their feelings and communicate around that in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I also, I'll just point, I've done workshops, like leadership workshops with emotional intelligence and stuff like that. And I also...
Are you talking about the authentic relating? What kinds? What kind of modalities have you exposed yourself through over the years?
Oh, well, nonviolent communication's a big one.
Mm-hmm. That's a big one for me too.
Yeah.
Shout out Marshall Rosenberg.
Absolutely. It's great to hear. Yeah. So there's different things in the realm of conflict resolution. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what that is. And that's actually a big passion of mine. I actually helped MKP develop a course on that because it was such a big deal for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like in my world, conflict is most of the time us not able to really empathize with each other. Like it's a lack of understanding that's driving most of the conflicts. And so that's a big passion for me. Yeah. So what else? Where were we? High school, went to college. What else? Like, where do you want to go next here?
I don't have an agenda.
Okay.
But I could come up with one real quick.
Okay.
So you went to, it sounds like you went to what college did you go to?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just like, I think when it comes to me as a person, I think that and relating it to men's work, there's a few things I would like to speak to. And so, are you okay with me?
What do you mean?
So there's certain choices that I made as an early adult that were related to my past.
Yeah. Which ones?
Yeah. So, yeah, one of the big ones, the first big one was, what kind of career did I want? My dad was an engineer. My oldest brother, computer science. My middle brother is computer engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this feeling that I was more interested in doing things that involve people and being of service. So I had this idea, but I had no career counseling. I had no one to talk to. I had no mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
I had no one who could show me the possibilities.
Give you a roadmap for something other than engineering.
Yeah.
It sounds like your brothers and your family, it was all, here's a roadmap to success through engineering.
That's right. Yeah, I had nothing where, do this quiz to identify what your biggest values and skills are.
Well, I did that quiz when I was in high school, and it said that I could be a flower decorator or go and work at the circus. So I don't know how much
No. Okay. Well, I didn't have not only I didn't have an effective support for figuring that stuff out.
What did that lead to? What was the impact of that?
So I went ahead and signed up for computer science at the college that I was living.
What college was that?
University of Southwest Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns.
Yeah.
USL.
Okay.
University of Slow Learners.
Was that a thing?
That was self-mocking, yes. It was not a great college, although the computer science program was really good. I did computer science, and I minored in psychology and English, and I graduated, and I was still feeling like I wanted to do something else, and I decided that maybe I'll be a lawyer, and I'll go do some positive things with that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what that was, but like I knew I didn't want to do, shitty lawyer stuff, but I thought maybe there was a way to make a difference. And I actually took the test and got accepted to UT Law School, which was from out of state, was not easy to do.
Yeah.
Like I had the aptitude for it.
UT's a really good law school.
I had the aptitude for it. And then I talked with a couple of lawyers at the tennis place that I worked at, and they were both totally burned out on law, I think. And they told me, David, you and law school, you're going to just hate it. They were both just so, like they painted the worst possible picture.
They steered you away from law.
They did. So I wound up going ahead and taking a job with IBM here in Austin.
Doing engineering.
Computer software, yeah. I worked with a bunch of linguists, and we were like on the cutting edge of using computers to do spell check and grammar check. That was kind of a cool job, but I was in the computer world. After 3 years of that, I decided, no, I need to go do something different. And so I went to pre-med for a semester at UT, thinking maybe I'd be a doctor, and realized that my memory isn't that great. And for me to do this medical thing would require like lots and lots of time. Like it wouldn't be easy for me, right?
Yeah.
And then I shifted. Okay, I'm gonna get a doctorate in psychology, and I'll either do research or I'll do counseling. I don't know, but I went down that path, and I started a master's program at Southwest Texas. And then I met a woman. Fast forward here, met a woman 10 years older than me, beautiful. She was like Wonder Woman, and I definitely had a wound around not feeling attractive to attractive women. And that was a real hook for me. She also had two young kids from her prior marriage. They were 3 and 5. And as I got involved with her, it became apparent that I was really great with kids. Really loved being that parent role. And the woman I was with she had some good qualities as a parent, but had not been raised with a lot of good role models. And so I was clear that I was adding a lot to this situation, and I felt really valued. And what I want to name is, it was checking off boxes around me being a real man. This role, I was now an adult male playing a father role and helping to support a family. I suddenly got transported into that, and it checked off all these boxes of parts of me that were never met, right? Like they were never, like I never felt that validation before. And despite, in retrospect, seeing all kinds of red flags after the fact, I was in that, and I could not see how this was not at all aligned with who other parts of me that wanted to bring my gifts to the world.
Wait, the father role wasn't in alignment with other parts that wanted to bring gifts to the world? Is that what you're saying?
I don't want to go too deep into this. Just want to say, just in general, she and I, while we had a lot of chemistry, were not a very healthy partnership. Just that.
I see.
And then add to the fact that taking on all this responsibility was going to mean that I had to quit my path to a PhD.
I see.
And I had a master's, and I suddenly veered to, I was working on my master's. So what I veered toward is I'm going to get a master's and work in a school while I'm getting my master's, because we needed money. So I'm going to work and then part-time go to school. And then I'm going to get a master's in psychology, and hopefully maybe I'll be a counselor in the schools. So I adjusted my vision to fit in with the circumstances.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I worked as a teacher for 4.5 years and got my master's. And then given, because I was a white male and the school district was looking for other backgrounds, the only job I was offered, even though I had a 4.0 and I was like a great, they needed more male counselors. The only jobs I was offered were like 30-minute drive out in the country and moving around schools during the day. Like not a very good, it's like the world was not embracing me in that space. And then I got a call from a friend to go back and get a job in the software industry.
You took it.
It was going to be like a 50% raise over my teacher salary. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Again, if a family, kids, boss, someone says, David, need you to do this, then there's a big part of me that's like, yes, sir, and I'll go do a fucking awesome job, you know? And so I took that path, and it was like 25 years of software.
Yeah, I'm seeing over and over the king out of balance.
The king not even in the room.
Yeah. The folks at the tennis club you worked at steering you away from law school.
That's right. Not having the confidence to explore it fully myself, right?
Yeah.
So much.
Over and over again.
That's right.
Family steering you away from getting that PhD. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Recurring patterns, right? And so yeah. And then golly, so much. So yeah. And I was so like the idea. So after 4 or 5 years, I knew this wasn't working. There were so many, like we could not resolve big problems. We were not good partners around some important things. And I'm like, you know, I started thinking about getting divorced. And then my wife gets pregnant unexpectedly. And we decided to keep him, and then I recommitted to the marriage. And it wasn't until 9 years later that we got divorced. But that whole period was like, you know, I was serving different communities. I was, you know, doing different things. Everything I did try to do in a good way. But there was almost none of it that was really coming from David's unique gift.
Are you walking your path?
That's right. Yeah, it wasn't available to me. And so I was kind of in this, playing these roles really well. Yeah.
So it's important to you that folks find their gifts. This is all a really good.
So I'm a perfect person to look at your childhood wounds and see that how critical it is to try to unwrap all that, to put sunshine on it when you're young.
Yeah.
Before you make these big decisions, really understand who you are and what it is that's going to bring the most satisfaction in your life. And from that place, make decisions. And so I'm a great mentor for that kind of thing.
There's some resonance here, David, in that the show where I'm at in my life right now is walking away from software, which is something that I've done for 10 years in order to support my family and my kids, because it was something I felt like I needed to do.
Yes.
And I came to a place in my life where my daughters were having challenges. They weren't really connected to me. There wasn't a lot of intimacy, and they were, you know, the message I was getting was that they wanted to be with their moms more and not with me. And I felt like and this thing I did, software, was just to do the right thing, to have the high-paying job, to have insurance, to have a family. Yes. And here it was not getting me anything that I really wanted. Yeah. And that's when I started looking at it saying, hey, what is my path? What do I want to do? What did I want to do when I was in middle school and in high school and in college even? And it's scary because I don't know, I don't have a roadmap right now to making this a career. So there's a lot of stepping off into the unknown and into uncertainty, trusting that if I show up in the world and contribute in this way without that monetary reward, the world will say, hey, we want more of that.
Yeah.
We see you. We accept you. Not only do we accept you, we want you to keep doing that.
Yeah.
And it's such a scary, vulnerable, it's frightening because the shadows come up and they say, you're not worthy.
Yes.
You're ugly. You're stupid. You no one's going to want to see more of you or hear more of you and Phails is saying, well, yeah, that's what happens when you're on the fool's journey. That's what happens when you're finding your way. You stumble, you fall, you get up, you look certain ways that aren't refined, and you keep going.
Yeah.
So this message is really helpful for me to hear today as I hear your message of going into software to support this family and then coming to look back on a life where you didn't have your king, didn't choose things that were in line. Your body was telling you, your mind was telling you what you wanted and what you needed, and you had that cultural crud all over you.
Yep.
All over you.
Yep.
That didn't allow you to make the decisions that were in alignment with your intuition, your inner king, your inner guide.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and one of the beautiful things about this men's work is it's not just the exception. Like what just happened here, I shared my story, and it brings up all this resonance for you, right?
Right.
So when I'm in circles and men are doing their work and they're expressing some real challenge or some old wound or whatever it is, it's not the exception that I feel resonance. Yeah. It's almost the rule.
Yes. We're doing all of our works together.
It is rare that I don't find some piece that it's like, hell yeah, I get that. I've been there.
Yeah.
How can I help you? I'm here for you. I see you.
Yeah.
And you're doing that for me right now.
Right. Your work is my work.
That's right. And you're reflecting how my work is your work, supports me in continuing to express and share and feel okay.
This is men's work.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just want to say to me it's human being work.
Human being work.
I strongly value that we're all more similar than we're different, and that's So yeah. But thank you for that reflection. I hope that we get to support each other more.
Yeah, we're getting close to landing this plane.
Yes,
and I think about, as we leave this interview, as you go about your day and I go about my day, there'll be some pondering, some questioning I'll do, at least on my end, and I'm going to invite you to do on your end, what it would look like for this discussion to continue, for there to be, deepening of connection and also sharing information about this. I think I mentioned to you the idea of having a men's group circle and sharing that with the world, allowing us to model for everybody what healthy, imbalanced masculinity and, sharing could look like. But this continuation of the discussion could look a lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. And I'm planting the seed to see if it sprouts in some way in you. And I'm planning it in myself, too, to see if there's a way I could ask you to participate. Because the idea is that these conversations continue.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. Like this isn't just it's not just this. It's like the planting a seed for more sharing, more support, more collaboration, more like possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if both people feel that's in alignment for them.
Yeah. I'm totally open to requests for possibilities. Totally open to that. Yeah.
One, the way it's happened a bunch of different ways. The way it happened for Grant Potts, Phails at philosophy. He's a professor of philosophy. He kind of had an idea, and he came over and he brought over 9 books.
Wow.
Philosophy books. And he said, let's look at these 9 books and pick one, and then let's discuss them in a series on philosophy. And so that's what we're doing. We're shooting, I think, the 5th one on Sunday.
Wow.
And
how's it going?
It's amazing. Right now we're doing Can Consciousness Be Explained is where we're at. And we're doing a comparative look at between Western philosophy and Buddhism.
Wow.
And through that, I've returned to the Austin Zen Center and sitting Zazen at the Zen Center, and returned to the Mariposa Sangha and sitting in that insight meditation community. So it's been really rewarding. I mention that only to say that sprung up in him the way to move forward, and that he was excited about it for me was affirmative that it was the way, his excitement in it. And I'll share with you any ideas I have of excitement that come up, and I'd like you to think about any ways that you have that would be exciting and alive for you. Because your aliveness, your excitement in it is probably going to be just as important as mine.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
There's a world here. I really like, you're really good at this, Philip, like of creating space, kind of container, the questions you ask, the way you respond is really supportive of bringing the most important things out. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, is there anything you want to share as we get close to wrapping up?
Let's see.
The jargon in our community would be, "Are you complete?"
Yeah. I would like to take just a couple of minutes and just briefly share kind of where I'm at on this journey right now.
Sure.
Just sort of naming a few things. I started doing this 21 years ago in terms of Mankind Project, and that was about when I had done some growth work before then, but I really dove into it. And I had a community and a tool set that I'd never had before. So the last 21 years, you would not recognize the person I was then to who I am now. Like, I feel like I'm radically different.
Transformation.
Yeah, like in terms of how I show up in all kinds of contexts, just radically. Back then, if I was leading a meeting, it had to be agenda driven and very much this is what it's going to look like. And any variation from that would bring up all kinds of fear. And now I'm leading, these groups where who knows what's going to happen, and I can hold space for that. Like, it's a really different way of being, and not just groups, but individually. And, like when people get triggered with me, I'd no longer go into freeze mode myself. And it's a journey. Like, I'm on that road. I'm not there yet, but it's like so much change for me. And I just want to say that the last 20 years, the last 10 years, the last 5 years, it's like it just keeps getting, the impact of these changes keeps getting more beautiful and more impactful and more opening. And I won't go into all the details, but and I'm very much aware that there are still parts of me that are resistant to doing things differently, that are still stuck in default mode, that are still, fear comes up, still present with me. Like these old friends of mine, I can just feel them coming up, and So it's like I'm not standing here saying this is going to solve all your problems, everything's going to be wonderful. No, that's not what I'm talking about here. What I see is life is like this this journey of possibilities, including emotional ups and downs and stuff. And the things I was raised with, the childhood wounds, are never going to completely disappear. But the journey is fucking worth it. It's like so much more is available than what I could have imagined.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if anyone has any thoughts or parts of you that like are curious, I strongly encourage you to find someone to talk about it. Go visit a men's group.
Yeah.
Check out MKP or other communities. Yeah. I'll stop there. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I have a hug?
Absolutely. I love hugs.
You just move this aside.
There we go.
Yeah, brother.
Get up here.
Need some help?
Oh
man.
thank you, David. Philip, I'm so happy and proud of you.
Yeah.
For doing this.
Thank you. That's
Like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to say, if there's any way I can be of support, I would really hope you ask.
Yeah, I will.
I may not be a yes, but I really want to help you.
Yeah.
Like, this is a great project you've got.
Yeah. Well, thanks for saying that. I appreciate you being a part of it.
When it comes time to give reviews or whatever, like I happily get.
Well, yeah, go. So have you subscribed to the channel?
No.
Oh, go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe. That's
Is it
all
called
really helpful. Phil Phails with a PH.
I didn't even know.
Let's clap.
Oh,
That's it.
nice.
Thank you, David.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Yeah, brother.
That was not hard. You made that very easy.
Oh.